Hi, so today I want to talk to you about my favorite social media platform. It is no secret, if any of you know me or follow me, that platform is Twitter. A lot of people come to work with me and study with me and get coached by me with a deep aversion to this platform. And the reason for that is you don't want to share your tuna sandwich. You don't care what other people are doing. It seems excessive that people are talking about their lunch or just constantly putting things out into the world like coffee or showing off seemingly about what they're doing. I want to kind of debunk a couple of things in your head playing before we dive into Twitter. Twitter is an incredible platform, and when you use it right, it can be a fantastic way to help show off you as a leader, you as a thought leader, and you as someone who can make a huge and valuable contribution to whatever community it is you're trying to bring towards you. The thing I find about Twitter that confuses people the most is they don't understand the very basics. So right now, I'm going to break it down for you and walk you through the very basics of how to use Twitter. And once you understand that, I think you'll feel much better about this platform. So here we go. Number one, the first thing you want to know about Twitter is your handle or your Twitter username. That is when you go to twitter.com/your name. And what your Twitter handle is just the name that you use to identify yourself on the platform. I talk to so many people and I say, oh, what's your Twitter username? And they don't know it. Make sure that you know it, and ideally make sure that it matches other platforms across social channels, like your Facebook, your regular URL, even your LinkedIn and your YouTube channel. So now that we know what a handle is, it usually starts with that little @ sign. Mine is @cyberpr. The next thing that you want to know is how exactly to communicate on Twitter. And this is a place where I see a lot of people fall down. The basics are simple. If you want to talk to someone on Twitter and get their attention, you can @ them. And how you do that is you include the @ sign, their username, and then whatever message it is you would like to say to them. So I could go @Sivers and then ask a question if I wanted to get Derek Sivers' attention, or @Brian Solis if I wanted to get Brian's attention. If you want to include people that are in on a tweet with you, for example, if I'm out at a restaurant or at an event with someone, I can say hanging out with their username, or had a wonderful time learning from @Chris Brogan, and I can add their Twitter username in the body of the tweet. If you like someone's idea and you would like to give credit where credit's due, that is where the retweet comes in. A retweet, or an RT as it's called, is simply just easily done by pressing the little retweet button on your Twitter platform. If you're using anything like Hootsuite or any of the Twitter management tools and apps, the retweet button is editable in some cases, and in some cases it is not. So when you go to retweet someone, you are basically acknowledging that you like what they said, you liked their comment, you liked something they shared, and you want to shine a light on them. A little interesting factoid about retweeting. If you have a message that you'd like to spread around and you actually write the words, please retweet, you will have a retweet rate that will pick up. Studies show that that is actually more effective than please RT or retweet. You want to write out please retweet. So if you are looking to get people to retweet a promotional message or something that you're looking to share, maybe a blog post, a link, an article, etc., definitely feel free to write please retweet. So we've got our ats down and our retweets down. The next thing you want to know about is DMing, or direct messaging. Direct messaging on Twitter only works if you are following the person and the person is following you back. You cannot direct message someone that is not following you. So if you're trying to direct message Richard Branson or President Obama, it's probably not working because they're probably not following you. However, if you do want to send a private message, something that's maybe inappropriate to share, like, may I have your phone number, or can you meet me at a restaurant at a certain time, or I'm waiting for you in the lobby, you might not want to broadcast that out to all of your Twitter followers. And in that case, it's deeply appropriate to use a direct message. Also, if you're asking for a personal favor, like you want to interview someone or find out what their rates are, it's much, much better to do a direct message than it would be to do a blast at sign. However, if the people are not following you, you might politely ask, hey, would you mind following me? I have a DM I'd like to send you. That's not an illegal thing to do, and a good and active Twitter user should be keeping up to date with their DMs as well as their ats. The next basic I want to talk to you about is following and following back. There's followers, those are the people that are following you, and there's following, those are the people that you're following. You want to try to keep these numbers kind of close to one another. I know a lot of people that consider themselves celebrities or artists. You'll sometimes see 1 million people will be following them, and they'll be following no one or just a couple of people. I don't advocate this. The whole currency in social media is having an exchange that goes between people. So when someone follows you, you should absolutely have the courtesy and follow them back. So you want to make sure those numbers are pretty even. People will like to know that you're following them. It shows that you care enough about them when you do that. But I always get this objection, but I don't have time to look at 10,000 or 20,000 people's tweets. I don't want to follow all those people. You don't have to see every single tweet. You can filter that out. You can curate the conversations that you're looking at. But it is the polite thing to do to follow people. You cannot expect people to find you interesting if you don't find them interesting back. Another great Twitter basic etiquette is anytime someone ats you and mentions you, you should actually respond to them. Now, if you're getting a lot of people adding you or including you in Follow Fridays, you might not want to respond to every single person, but if someone does send you an @ message or they include you, you want to acknowledge that they have included you and they've talked to you, and you definitely want to get in the conversation. How do you do that? So easy. There's a little arrow underneath almost every tweet. It's actually under every tweet in your tweet stream. You can just click on it, and it's very easy to jump into conversations with people. Hashtags. Hashtags are so simple that people get confused. Basically, all you do is press the hashtag on your keyboard, and then you can put anything you want after it. When you log into Twitter, every day you can see the hashtags that are trending on Twitter, and you can jump into those conversations if they're valuable or interesting to you. You can make your own hashtag. One of the ones I love is Yay Social Media. Or you can make hashtags that are funny or clever. You don't have to follow any sort of hashtag rules. They're just ways of grouping together different tweets. And you will find, especially during great TV nights like on Mad Men night or during the Super Bowl, you will find a hashtag begins to pop up around big events. Election nights, you see them. World Cup nights, you see them, etc. So anytime you want to jump into a conversation, maybe you're at a conference, at a concert, you can hashtag and add whatever tag you want and or jump into a conversation using a hashtag. TwitChats. TwitChats are wonderful ways of getting involved with different communities that you might like. In the PR world, there are quite a few Twitter chats that go on. There are also some wonderful ones hosted in the music industry. And TwitChats are great when you find out that one is going on. Basically, you just lurk on Twitter, follow the hashtags, and you can jump into the conversation and contribute directly. Another basic that you should definitely get up and understand is favoriting. The favorites can be indicated by the little gold star on the bottom of your tweet stream. If you see a tweet that comes through that you like and you'd like to curate it, you can actually just star it and it will get added to your favorites. The thing that's cool about this is maybe you're following a topic that's not totally relevant to your community or your tribe, but it's something that you like. You can favorite it, and the person that created the tweet will actually be notified that you have favorited his or her tweet. So if there's someone whose attention you're trying to get on Twitter, and I'm a huge advocate of using Twitter to get people's attention who you'd like to connect with, go ahead and favorite many of their tweets as you move through your weeks. They will notice you, I promise. Twitter gets better as you begin interacting. So for those of you who are just getting up and running on Twitter, our advice at CyberPR is to begin to try to tweet 3 times a day, 1 original message, 1 retweet, and 1 @. You definitely want to use Follow Fridays. Follow Fridays is a very simple concept. It happens on Fridays. You have a hashtag, and we'll talk about hashtags in a second, and an FF after it, and then you include people that you think are worthy. You can group people together by people you know, people you like, people you respect, people whose articles you read. Maybe it's rock stars whose concerts you enjoy. There's a million different ways to curate an FF. And it's a wonderful way of saying, hey, I really like you, and I'm giving you a shout out on a Friday. So for those of you who see these FFs or Follow Fridays with a hashtag coming through on Fridays and you don't know what the heck it is, I have just explained it to you. Paying for fake Twitter followers is something that I absolutely do not advocate. There are plenty of companies out there that will help you add 10,000, 5,000, 3,000 Twitter followers. These are not targeted, and these will not help your cause in the long run. It's very easy to identify great communities of people on Twitter to follow. How you can do that is go to a few people that you really like. Tastemakers are very good for this, or even rock stars, and look at their Twitter lists. You can find that underneath on their homepage. There's a little link that says Twitter lists. You can see lists that they've been included on and lists that they have curated. Look down the list and see if there's anything interesting. Then simply click on the list, and then you can see all of the individual people that the list is comprised of. You can pull up a box and it will show a huge list of very interesting and pertinent people to follow. You can also follow the entire conversation of the list separately. So lists are a very useful place to garner new followers and follow interesting people. I also highly recommend that you curate your own lists. Group people together, maybe where they live, or things they talk about, or just people you admire, or people that you know, or people who you'd like to get to know, or people that you meet at a conference, or people that you've grouped together by a hashtag search. And these lists can be incredible ways of looking at very specific conversations being had by just a specific subset of people. So definitely go ahead and utilize lists. They're crucial and important. For those of you who feel massively overwhelmed by Twitter and you still are having trouble, I highly recommend using Hootsuite. For $10 a month, it's a very powerful platform where you can curate tweets, you can identify the most important users in your Twitter community, and it makes the morass a lot more easy to navigate. The last thing I want to say about Twitter is it's almost impossible to over-communicate on the Twitter platform. The average tweet lasts less than a few minutes, and most people follow hundreds, if not thousands of people. So if they're looking at a tweet stream, your tweet comes and goes very, very quickly. Some of the most effective and most hardcore users of Twitter tend to tweet up to 20 or 30 times a day. I'm not saying you have to do that. I am just saying that you can do that and you're not going to exhaust your followers. So test it out. See how many times you can stay on tweeting. I would definitely say 3, 4, 5, even 10 times a day is not too much considering the lifespan of a tweet. You also should follow my social media pyramid for best uses on social media. Nobody likes someone using Twitter when all they're doing is pushing their stuff or marketing themselves. I would say if you're just getting your feet wet and if you're just trying to jump into conversations on Twitter, don't even market yourself at all. Just get in conversations, share articles, share photos, share videos, share links, say hello, say what's up, follow Friday. For those of you in the music world, Music Monday is also a fantastic place to share music, share musicians, share your own music, not in a hypey way, in a great way. So, to wrap up Twitter basics, and there were a few advanced tips thrown in there, Get on the court. Try to tweet at least 3 times a day. You can never overtweet. And I hope this Twitter basics lesson has shown some light on this platform.